For those who don't know what speleology is, it's the study and exploration of caves. It's a fascinating yet perilous adventure that takes you deep into the heart of the earth, where the darkness seems to consume everything and the silence echoes your every footstep. As a speleologist, I've ventured into many caves, but nothing could have prepared me for the chilling experience that awaited me in the desolate darkness of Whispering Hollows. The day started like any other expedition. My name is Alex, and I'm an experienced speleologist. Today I had the company of two other skilled cavers, Rachel and Mark. Together we were exploring Whispering Hollows, an uncharted cave system rumored to be cursed. Superstitious tales were a common thing in this field, but we brushed them off as mere folklore. As we descended into the cave's depths, the temperature dropped significantly, and a bone-chilling coldness crept into our bones. The walls seemed to whisper ancient secrets, and the echoes of our footsteps felt like the cave itself was watching us. I pushed aside the unease, convincing myself it was just my overactive imagination. We had been exploring for hours, mapping out the labyrinthine passages when we stumbled upon a peculiar chamber. The walls were adorned with strange symbols, and the air felt heavier, suffused with an unsettling energy. I couldn't help but notice the tension growing among our team. Rachel and Mark exchanged glances, but nobody dared to speak a word. Suddenly, a distant rumble echoed through the cave. We froze, our headlamps flickering for a moment. The eerie silence returned as the rumble subsided. Mark, trying to lighten the mood, joked about the cave talking to us. Rachel managed a nervous laugh, but I sensed the unease still lingering in her eyes. With our nerves on edge, we continued deeper into the hollows, cautiously pressing forward. We noticed peculiar markings along the way, almost as if someone, or something, had intentionally left them there. I chose not to mention it to the others. They were already on edge, and I didn't want to add to their anxiety. As we ventured further, the passages seemed to twist and turn in impossible ways, disorienting us. We had to tread carefully, as even the slightest misstep could lead to an unseen abyss. Fear clutched at our hearts, but our desire to uncover the secrets of the cave pushed us forward. Then, we heard it, a faint whispering sound coming from somewhere unknown. It was as if the cave itself was trying to communicate with us. Rachel, Mark, and I heard it too, our faces now pale with fear. We exchanged worried glances, unsure of what to make of it. Our headlamps began to flicker more frequently, casting fleeting shadows on the cave walls. Panic washed over us, but we tried to remain calm, desperately clinging to the hope that it was just some technical glitch. We decided to retrace our steps and find the way back to the entrance. However, no matter how hard we tried, we couldn't seem to find the familiar path we had taken. Panic escalated, and our hearts pounded in our chests. "We need to stay calm and think this through," Rachel said, trying to steady her voice. As we searched for a way out, we discovered a passage we hadn't explored before. Though unsure, we decided to take the risk and follow it, hoping it would lead us back to safety. The whispering sounds grew louder, but it was as if we could sense a faint glimmer of daylight ahead. Exhausted and terrified, we emerged from the cave, blinking against the bright sunlight. We couldn't believe we had made it out alive. As we gathered our gear and started our trek back to civilization, none of us spoke a word. The events in Whispering Hollows had left an indelible mark on our minds, and the mysteries of the cave would continue to haunt us for years to come. To this day, I still can't explain everything that happened in that cave. The eerie whispers, the unexplained symbols, and the strange passages remain a puzzle in my mind. A couple of years ago, Tom and I decided to explore this remote cave that not many people dared to enter. The cave had a reputation for being eerie and haunted, but we laughed off those stories, thinking it was all just local superstition. So, with our gear and courage in tow, we ventured into the darkness. As we delved deeper into the cave, the natural light from the entrance faded away, and we relied solely on our flashlights to guide us. The air grew thick and oppressive, and the silence was so heavy it felt like it was pressing down on our chests. At first, we tried to keep our spirits up, cracking jokes and trying to stay casual, but the tension in the air made it hard to shake off the feeling that we were being watched. Every small sound echoed through the cave, and it felt like there was something lurking in the shadows, just out of sight. Then, as we turned a corner, we both saw it. A silhouette of a figure standing in the distance. It was faint, barely visible, but its presence made our blood run cold. We froze, our hearts pounding in our ears, as we tried to make sense of what we were seeing. But there was no denying it. There was someone or something there with us. Fear took hold of us, and we wanted nothing more than to get out of that cave. We turned around and retraced our steps, but it felt like the cave was playing tricks on us, changing its layout to keep us trapped. Panic began to set in as we realized we were disoriented, not knowing which way was the way out. Our flashlights started flickering, as if the cave itself was trying to extinguish our only source of light. Tom managed to find spare batteries and tried to replace them, but even the fresh ones wouldn't work. It was like the cave didn't want us to leave. In that darkness, the silhouette reappeared, closer this time. It was as if it was following us, haunting us every step of the way. We could barely make out its features, but it seemed unnatural, like no human could cast such a shadow. We mustered the last ounces of courage and decided to forge ahead, praying that we'd stumble upon the exit somehow. The cave seemed to play with our minds, whispering faint echoes that made us doubt our sanity. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we saw a glimmer of light ahead. We pushed ourselves to run towards it, ignoring the exhaustion and fear that threatened to overwhelm us. As we burst into the open air, gasping for breath, we collapsed outside the cave entrance, grateful to be alive. We never figured out what that silhouette was or why the cave seemed to have a life of its own. But that experience changed us forever. We no longer scoffed at tales of the unknown, knowing all too well that some things defy explanation. So, my friends, remember this cautionary tale when you venture into the unknown. There are things out there that can't be explained or understood. And if you ever find yourself in a cave with a mysterious silhouette haunting your every move, run. Run as fast as you can and pray you find your way back to the light of day.